Hi, and welcome to Knit All the Things. My name is Laurel. I'm also known as West Maven on Instagram, Ravelry, and here. If you're new, this is a space where I talk about all the things I'm knitting, all the things I want to knit, all things yarn, just all the things. And if you're returning, welcome back, Knitting Bestie. I can't wait to catch up with you. In this week's episode, we are going to be talking about my finished White Mountains Light sweater, a pattern by Midori Hirose. We are also going to talk about the last issue of Pom Pom Magazine. I will review their final issue and give you some of my thoughts. I currently don't have a sweater on the needles. I'm gonna let you in on why. So grab your knitting, get cozy, and let's go. Okay, let's talk about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the White Mountains Light sweater, a pattern by Midori Hirose, and I knit this in Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the colorway licorice, and I held that double. This sweater weighs just under 200 grams, and I just can't say enough. So I knit the size M2 and I chose the crew neck option. So there's a lot of options in this pattern to accommodate for just a bunch of different looks. It's a pattern that you could definitely knit several times and have just many different looking sweaters. So here are some of the options. You can do a crew neck like I did. You can do a boat neck. There is an option for making almost like a vest or a very no sleeve, short sleeve option. If you do long sleeves, you certainly could make this cropped. There is sizes from child to I think 5XL with I think different modifications for male bodies or broader shoulders. So there's a lot of options within this pattern. Now, when you buy the pattern, and you first pull it up and you're looking at all of the information, it could look kind of intimidating because the way that she writes some of the things in the pattern, for example, the raglan increases, are different throughout the sizes because it is like a modified raglan. And I'll show you if you get a little bit closer, but it kind of like curves down. And so your rate of increase is changing depending on the sleeve section or the body. And it gives this really nice line for a raglan. And I don't know if you're gonna see it great on this, but we'll try. And then for the raglan, there's actually a little pearl stitch within it. So it kind of gives it, I think it would show up better if this one wasn't mohair and two, not black, but it's there. So this sweater, I wanted it to be nice and oversized. Today I am wearing it with some camo pants, and then I have a little scarf belt situation happening, and it is rather long. So I kind of did want a big oversized cozy sweater. I certainly could wear this with leggings if I wanted to, and just kind of have it as a anytime black sweater. I feel like you certainly could dress it up or dress it down, and there's just a lot of ways to wear this. I also think that if I were to knit it again, I would perhaps do a size or two smaller so that it isn't so oversized. And maybe, yeah, I would probably just pick a size smaller. I'm happy with the size I chose, but I do think if I were to knit it again, I would do a smaller size. And if you look at the pictures, it's definitely an oversized sweater, so I definitely knew what I was getting into. This took longer than I thought. So I actually knit the yoke and both sleeves. I basically split for the body, knit about 1 inch, and then just did the sleeves. And I thought, oh, when I go back to the body, it is gonna go by so quickly. And I swear to you, I felt like I was knitting the body forever. So I knit a lot on this since the last podcast, and it was took up a big chunk of my time. The other kind of cool design feature of this one is the elongated ribbing on both the sleeve and the body. This one you do size down for a needle for the ribbing, and it was like a little bit funny when I first finished it. I have not blocked this sweater yet, but I did steam it, so that did get rid of the kind of line and relax that portion of the sweater quite a bit, which I'm so happy for. I also really prefer a long sleeve. If you didn't, you could cuff it, and I think that would be cute, or you could just knit a shorter sleeve. But I think both could be cute. It kind of adds another kind of look. So I am really happy with how this turned out. The pattern is knit top down, and again, it has that modified raglan. There are short rows. I actually have not put in a tag in this yet, so I left my collar, I guess, cast on string, if you will, not woven in. I wove in everything else, but I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to figure out the front and the back. So I do need to put a tag on this, probably after this podcast, just so I can remember. And I actually have some very cute ones from Shelly Can that will be very cute. In fact, let me grab those, I'll show you. So I have these one-of-a-kind labels to put in the sweater from Shelly Can, and I have black with white letters, white with black letters, and I know she had other ones. I really like these a lot, and I think I purchased them at my local yarn store, Ritual Dyes. But I know that Shelly has a website, so you could probably purchase those from her there. And then, since I was grabbing labels, I thought I would also show, these are labels by Cat M, and these ones say Cute AF. I don't know. And they say Cute AF, and then I have You Are Loved. So I got these ones at a local sewing store, and I'm trying to remember the name. If I can remember to do it, I will put it here. Okay, so I do need to put a label in. I don't always do it with all of my sweaters because some of them, especially with color work, I can see where the short rows happen to be, but in solid sweaters, I feel like I absolutely have to do it, especially black, to see where the back is. And also, if I don't do it, or it's like a lighter colored sweater, sometimes I will put a different color yarn and kind of do like a little stitch around the back in a bright color of thread that is just on the inside of the sweater so that I can see where the back is. So I could also do that with this too. But this is my White Mountains Light by Midori Hirose. I think I will definitely knit another one, and I'm kind of thinking I will do this in a linen yarn and smaller. So maybe for a spring summer garment, this will be nice, and like a linen. What else can I say about it? I think that's about it. I really, again, enjoy her patterns. I like that she gives so many options. I like that this one has such a size range. Like, I could make my kids a sweater, I could make myself a sweater, I could probably make my husband a sweater, all in the same pattern, which is pretty amazing. And so I really can't say anything more about it. And I highly recommend this pattern. I have used Knitting for Olive before. I'm trying to think. I have used their mohair before and have knit a mohair only sweater. I did a September sweater modified in, I think, 3 strands of mohair. It might have only been 2, but 2 or 3 strands of mohair held together. I will say that while I was knitting this, I would be knitting along and I would be several rows up and I would see a stitch where I had only knit 1 of the strands of mohair, and you could leave it. It would bother me. So I would just drop down, grab that extra strand, and then keep going. And that happened a lot more times towards the end. So either I was like aware that it was happening occasionally and was looking for it, or it was just because I was rushing to finish this and then missing sometimes a strand. But I feel like I don't really have any holes in this, so I don't think I did that too often. And yeah, I do like this mohair quite a bit. I believe, let me find out the mohair content real quick. Okay, so the Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair content is 70% mohair and 30% silk. and everything is cruelty-free and certified sustainable and traceable. So they have really excellent high quality mohair. Their black to me is really good. It isn't like a faded black. I feel like it's a good solid black. And like I will show you, I have like a black notebook next to it and it is the same. So I really think that they do an excellent job, especially with this color. And I really think it is a lovely mohair. I also think this sweater would have been nice doing a fingering and a mohair. And I can't remember the gauge, but it is still a loose gauge. And I think you can kind of tell like in the up at the top where you can see my tank top underneath. I probably will always wear a little something underneath this, but it does actually have pretty good coverage with just being 2 strands of mohair. Also, I'm wearing a black tank top and I'm very white, so it is going to be high contrast and you're going to notice. Had I maybe not worn the black tank top and just had maybe a nude bra, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. So there's that. So that is my White Mountains light sweater by Midori Hirose. And again, I think this is an excellent pattern to make. The other thing I've been working on besides this sweater is my Smocket Shawl. I did not knit a ton because there is one other project that I've been working on more, but I did make a little bit more progress. I've gotten another color since the last time. But this is the Smocket Shawl, a pattern by Stephen West. And this is the top of the shawl. You essentially knit this pattern across the shawl until you get to your maximum amount of stitches point. Then you knit for a while at that, and then you decrease. And then you go and pick up a ton of stitches along the bottom and do a smocking stitch. So I have a feeling that by the time I get to that, I may be tired of knitting this. I don't know, but it has been enjoyable so far. And I really think that it looks very nice with this yarn. So this yarn I spun. So this was from Banshee Fiber Arts, and it is a 100% Rambouillet. And they, I don't actually know who owns it. They have just, I think, color numbers, if I recall, but this is a gradient, and it was a gradient from the dark pink to the gold, with it going through a light pink, a lavender, a blue, and then to the gold, green gold. So it's a really pretty gradient, and I'm not really a spinner. I guess I'm learning. So how I spun this real quickly was I split it in half, made the gradient 3 times, and then with the other half I did it split up 6 times, so it ran through the gradient 6 times. And so far I'm really liking how this is turning out, and I'm really, really eager to see this more further done now that I have a little bit more time to see how it ends up turning out. But I do think the gradient's kind of pretty. In the original pattern, Stephen had suggested using 3 different colors, like a fade of fingering weight. So I've seen several of those and I think they're really pretty. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. I haven't done a ton of work again, but just a little bit here and there. I've been trying to do it, but I had a couple of other things that distracted me. So the other thing that I have been working on with all of my heart and all of my time has been my own sock pattern. Okay, so this pattern is going to be called the Cozy Slouchy Socks. And oh my gosh, I'm like in the middle of a row. The worst. Okay, so I had actually made one sock, which is here. So this is the first sock. And when you put it on, it's going to slouch up like this. And that's going to be around your ankle. Some of my testers are completely done with their socks. They look very cute. And I will definitely have those posted on my Instagram and stories, so check them out there. But this is supposed to just be a cozy, warm, nice sock. So this is knit top down. I am using Magic Loop for mine, and I really have, I know it sounds bad, but I'm enjoying knitting these, and I feel like they go by really quick. So I had knit this one to write the pattern. Now I am knitting the second sock for this particular pair with my testers. I grabbed the wrong needle size, so I actually had knit the whole sock, and I was like, this is looking weird. What am I doing? And so that one's gone, but I'm starting over. So I am re-knitting second sock, and this particular pattern is going to take quite like a lot less yarn than you would think. Right now I am using a sock set from Shirley Bryan Yarns, and I believe, let me just go peek at this. It is a 50-gram ball of yarn, which is basically going to do my foot. And if you needed more yarn, you could make the toes different colors. And then it also came with the like toe cuff color, which is a 20-gram ball of yarn. So very little yarn, and then you can use very little scraps of mohair. So I am using a Cashmere Treats mohair. It was just a random one-of-a-kind color. I would say it's closest to her indigo and lavender colorway, and it is just a very soft kind of pink with a little bit of lavender in it. And I'm probably going to make another pair because I just want to, like, one, I want a few for myself, and two, I want another kind of brighter color for my pattern photos. So that will be kind of in the works and what I've been working on. I want to thank you guys so much for all of your kind words from the last video, on just all of your encouraging words, all of your excitement, and those of you who are testing the socks, thank you so much. It means a lot. I feel like I definitely have a nice, warm and welcoming knitting community around me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Those will be out soon. If you would like to be one of the first people to know when they are released and also get a discount code, you can go to knitallthethings.com. There is a button that says sign up for my newsletter, and then fill that out. And when I am finalizing everything, I will send an email with your discount code and all of that. So I'm not gonna spam you with a bunch of random emails, but I will send you little love letters, little yarn love letters, if you will. So go do that. I will also have a link for that in the description of this video. The next thing that has taken up a lot of my time, I'm really proud of it. I've been doing things like setting up the website and setting up the Ravelry and all the different kind of behind the scenes things. And so it has also taken up a lot of my time in a different way from knitting. So that's kind of what I've been working on. Now, the other thing that I have been working on or planning on, because I actually don't have a sweater on my needles at all. Number one, I finished this at 2 a.m. last night, which I don't know. I like to stay up really late. That was a little bit late for me. And that is why it's not blocked. But I really wanted to get it done today because I've talked about it off and on for so long that I just wanted it done and I wanted to be able to wear it. So that was part of the reason I don't have a sweater on the needles. The other part of it is I think I'm gonna take, like, not a long time, but a tiny breather and work on some accessories, because last year, at the end of the year, I really had finished all of my outstanding whips. I finished the year with this sweater on the needles and some accessories on the needles, and that's it. I had no, like, unfinished long-term sweater or shawl whips at all. I finished them all. And so, not that you have to do that by any means, but I certainly want to only knit the things I really want to, like, knit and finish. So I'm trying to kind of stay on top of my whips and not have them get out of control for now. Say this now, I'm probably gonna cast on 19 things. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. But in the meantime, I've had this yarn for a while now. It is from Hugh Loco. It's her colorway Hustle. And it is like a lime yellow green with some blue and brown speckles, or maybe orange speckles. And I really, really like it. It's got a little turquoise, a little teal. And I have had this in my mind to make something for my kids with this. And I think what it's going to be now is a DRK everyday cowl. I really, really like that look a lot. I am not going to do the 2 color. I'm only going to do a 1 color. And I think that with the pattern for the child or teen size, I'll have plenty of yarn for each of them to get a cowl. And yeah, it's kind of a bright, fun kid color. I think right now I'm wanting to like finish all these accessories I've had in my head just to get them out of there. So the hat that I started for my oldest son is like a modified Stockholm hat. This is a La Biana May Wensley worsted yarn in the colorway Lush. I didn't really make any progress on that, but I've been wanting to finish that. I want to make a little more progress on my shawl. I want to start these cowls, which I really think they're going to go by super quick, especially since I'm only using 1 color. I don't think it's going to take that long, and it'll be kind of a nice palette cleanser as well as having a bright color to knit. I have now probably 3 or 4 sweater quantities of black yarn that I do want to knit. I've had to like pause a little because this sweater and my last sweater were black. I did have color work in the last one, so it wasn't an only black sweater, but I need a tiny break. And I'm also not sure that I'm ready to knit something super colorful for a whole entire sweater yet. So because I'm feeling a little bit apprehensive on that, I'm just pausing the tiniest bit because I don't want to just do it to do it. But I also, I don't know, I think I need a little color in my life, even if it's an accessory. So I plan on working on these cowls, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Maybe I'll be fantastic and get these both done. That would be kind of surprising, but you never know, in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really excited to use this. I also really want to get some things out of my stash that have been earmarked for something. Since I got these, I wanted to either make a hat or a cowl for them. So just assigning them and getting them out of the stash so I have room for more yarn. So I think I'm going to work on that. And I'll hopefully have posted a picture at some point of the everyday cowl, but if not, right now I will. And so that is going to be on my needles soonish. The other thing that I have been kind of working on was my half and half wrap. I have only done a couple rows, so I'm not going to show it, but that's kind of all of the knitting I've done. But here's something else I've done that I'm actually very proud of. So in the last 3 weeks, I've taken an online spinning class, and I'm not great. So the first skein of yarn, like full skein of yarn that I am making the shawl out of, I think turned out well for what it is, but I really didn't have any sort of spinning technique down. And so I wanted to like just do what I wanted. And now I'm going back and trying to figure out maybe a quote unquote proper way to spin. And so this yarn, the single, is fiber from not Banshee. This is fiber from Art and Alchemy. I'm hoping this is going to look nice. So it's from Art and Alchemy, and it's in the color, it's a BFL, and it's in the colorway Cannabliss. So inside of this particular one is some golds, a couple of blips of almost a rust, and then mostly shades of green. And I'm really not a green yarn person, but my oldest really loves green, and so I thought that if I can get this done, I will make him maybe a hat or something like that. So this is half of my braid. So this is 2 ounces of that color. And one, I am practicing on this particular one to spin thicker because my original way that I've been spinning is a little bit thinner. So I was trying to adjust that. And I feel like I did a pretty good job on that. And then the second thing I was really practicing was a short forward draw. And the reason I say that was because I'm now thinking my default, or what felt most comfortable, was a short backward. So it's just something different to learn. And if you're not a spinner, ignore all those words. But if you are, then that's kind of where I'm at. And so yeah, I'm proud of this. I'm really eager to finish this spin. I don't want to say that I'm not enjoying it or anything like that, but I kind of want to jump to something else. And I have definitely a single braid that I'm really eager to spin, as well as start spinning for the Traveler Shawl, because one of my goals of 2024 would be to spin and then knit the Traveler Shawl, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. I really would say that that has inspired and kind of launched my spinning a little bit further than it may have gone, because I was so excited when I saw that pattern. So that's the goal, and that's what I've been kind of working on outside of knitting and outside of finishing the pattern and all the things. So that's that. Now, the fun stuff. All of this has been fun, but I know some of you come for the reviews. So let's get to the Pom Pom issue 48, the latest and the last issue of Pom Pom Magazine. This magazine has been so special. I've noticed that they have tried to make sure that their models are diverse, their designers are diverse. They show lots of different bodies in the magazine, and I really think that they will be greatly missed. So if you want to support them and purchase the last issue, please check their website. I think you can only get a digital copy, which is great still, or you can look for this copy in your local yarn stores to see if they have any left. Okay, so let's talk about this. On the front is featured the Fortuna, I'm probably saying this wrong, Fortuna's wheel pullover and trousers. This is a pattern by Elspeth Vance, and she used Illimani Sabri 2 yarn. If you have been watching this for a while, you will know that I knit I'm gonna forget the name, an Irene Lynn pullover, the Rhoda jumper, with Illimani Sabri 2. It is an 85% cotton and 15% alpaca yarn, and I thought that was kind of an interesting choice. And this is not a critique or criticism, but I thought it was an interesting choice only because it is color work. And so knitting this pattern and the pants, you're gonna have to be real paying attention to your tension, because cotton does not have a ton of give. So if you're making a colorwork sweater in cotton, if you make it in wool and it has a little bit of like bunching, you can kind of block that out. If you have that in cotton, you're not gonna like it. Let's just put it that way. You're gonna want it to be laying flat throughout the process. So it's just something to maybe keep in mind if you do use the same yarn. Okay, so here's some more pictures of this beautiful set. And my initial thought was, oh my gosh, I want to knit that. And then my second thought would be, I'm not gonna wear it. I think it's really cute and super cute on this model. It's not really my style. I think though it would be the most fun knit, if you will. I really think it's so cute. I think it's very flattering. I like the sweater's crop, and I do like the black and white. I think it would also be cute in like lavender and yellow or orange, like something kind of funky. I think it's a really cool design. I just think I would knit it for the knit and not for the product of the thing, because I think it's very busy for me. And I think I've also learned I don't really love all over color work for knitting. But I really thought it was so eye-catching. It is clear why it is the front cover of their final issue, because it really is a spectacular design, and I really think it's beautiful. I hope to see a lot of people knit this because I would like to enjoy it, seeing them wear it. So that is, again, the Fortuna wheel I think it's like Fortuna wheel pullover by Elspeth Vance. Again, well deserved to be on the cover. Okay, the other one that really caught my eye is the Raya pullover. It is by Susan Lin, and I think this one is really, really gorgeous. I could definitely see myself making this and wearing it. It is a garment that is knit sideways. They used a zobber ball for the kind of color changing yarn, if you will. So you could use Spin Cycle, you could use another color changing if you would like. I think, of course, this would be gorgeous instead of the white and black, and do a moody color change. I have a couple of colors in mind that I would definitely use. I think that I think it's really cute on this model with the fringe, but I think I would probably leave that off because I think I just would. I think it's cute, but I don't think I would wear it with the fringe. I do really love, and maybe it's part, I haven't read the whole pattern, but maybe it's part of the finishing, because it does go in the same color as the colors above in the sweater. So it looks like, I don't know, maybe it's the waist yarn they're cutting or ending the rows with there. I don't know, but it's very, very cute. So maybe you're not weaving in a ton of ends. Maybe you're starting it here and then knitting and then coming back and finishing it off and then leaving that leftover yarn. I don't know. I'll have to read it and find out. But I thought it was really cute, and I really think it would be so flattering on a lot of bodies, and I just really like it. I like the oversized style of it, and I like that it looks like it's in garter, so I bet it would go really fast and it would just be like a nice, enjoyable knit. So yeah, and it doesn't have sleeves. It has like it looks like picked up sleeves that you would just quickly pick it up and knit it, and a short rib and be done. So I bet you it's a fast knit, and I think it would be really cute for actually spring, summer. So I'm thinking about that one for sure. There's cute hats, and I also wanted to point out there is a really pretty woven, I'm trying to show this without spoiling. There's like an I-cord woven situation happening here, like a little mat, like a coffee. You could put your mug on it or use it for like trivet. And if you will remember on the last episode, I had gotten an I-cord maker. I wasn't sure how I would use it. This is how you would use it. It's so cute. You make I-cords and then you weave them together, and they're really, really, really cute. So that I thought was a nice little fun project that you could do. You could make the I-cords and then even make it a kid-friendly project and have them do the weaving part. So I really thought it was kind of fun, and definitely a neat way to use up scraps or any other yarns that you don't quite have enough of for a project or anything like that. So I think that's kind of a fun one. Those are the ones that I'm gonna highlight today. There is a really cute vest that I like that is a plaid style of vest and some socks and a hat, a couple of hats. But I really, really think that this one is so cool. I really like this vest. I would wanna do it in like a buffalo plaid, so like bright reds and black and maybe a gray. It would be pretty. Or a bright red and a maroon and a black. But I really think it's going to be sad to see this magazine not be around anymore. So I do hope that you're able to get a copy and enjoy it for one last time. That is the latest and last issue of Pom Pom Magazine. That has been all that I have been up to in the last couple of weeks. I have just been knitting like a crazy person. I've been watching Next in Fashion on Netflix, and that's about it. That's what I've been up to. I always love hearing what you guys are working on, and I love your comments. I read all of them, respond to them as quickly and often as I can. So thank you so much for those. If you're not yet knitting besties, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and like this video. It tells YouTube that other fiber enthusiasts like yourself enjoy this type of content. Till 2 weeks from now, make some yarn magic. Bye!